this in there because there's such a big debate about silver fillings. In the American textbook of operative dentistry, there was a Dr. William Christensen who wrote, "The best restoration in dentistry is a porcelain inlay." And the kicker here was the year he did this, 1897. The reality is we knew way back then that amalgam was not the best restoration available. And I read an article once, but I did not verify it, that amalgam was actually going to be banned at one point in time and then ended up getting grandfathered back in. So 100 years ago, they'd already thought about getting rid of the product. Somehow or another, it got grandfathered in the past. It's been around all this time. And now we're finally starting to see some stricter regulations being put on the product. So I hope you can look at this and see that this product can cause all sorts of problems, not even just killing teeth, because it can break the teeth and cause all sorts of unnecessary dentistry, but from the standpoint that it is leaking mercury, it is increasing the amount of mercury in your body, and that can be causing all sorts of neurological problems. Why would you want it when you could have a material like this that does not contain mercury, does not expand and contract and break tooth, does not leak, and last but not least, it looks a whole heck of a lot better. So for those dentists who say, the silver filling is a stronger material, these materials have about the same strength as enamel. So the reality is they kind of rebuild their tooth back to their natural strength compared to weakening it like an amalgam does. And I think this picture here shows everything that a silver filling is a problem of. On the left here, you can see how it's pulled away from the tooth, and that's a massive gap. So you can understand how it can leak and get bacteria underneath it. This tooth just broke from the silver filling that was in it, so they tend to break teeth. This tooth over here had a silver filling, but they've been to a dentist and had a root canal done. So it kind of sums it up that it can cause a lot of unnecessary dentistry with root canals, it can break teeth, and they tend to leak. Well, why would we want that when we could have this? Again, these materials don't have any of those problems that amalgams do, and obviously look a lot better too.
Absolutely. I mean, you can almost do that in a cosmetic way, actually. That looks so natural. The last slide you showed.
Of course, everybody nowadays too is wanting to look the best they can. So, from a cosmetic standpoint, we remove a lot of them just for that reason alone. Of course, we always talk with all our patients about the possible problems with silver fillings. We don't force it, but we give them the option. We let them know our thoughts and philosophies, and then they make that decision from there. But
what's the risk? What's the risk involved in actually removing a mercury filling? I mean, isn't there the chance that the mercury is going to leak into the system when you cut? I mean, there's going to be some bleeding somewhere, right?
Yes, and that's what we're here to now.
Okay.
The pro amalgam dentists are always going to try to tell you, well, you're just damaging the tooth more by removing it. If you're saying mercury's a problem, well, now you're causing the mercury to potentially enter the body. And that's true. To sum it up, there's a lot of dentists that are anti-amalgam, and they're all coming out with protocols on the way that amalgam should be removed. In general, most dentists who are anti-amalgam will agree with a couple of things. One is a rubber dam. It's a sheet that goes around the teeth and isolates that tooth where, as the pieces come out and the water and everything else, it doesn't go down your throat. You're not going to swallow it. While we have that rubber dam on there, you hear about laughing gas. If you've ever been to the dentist, it's a nose piece, and we give oxygen so that you're breathing in pure oxygen while we're doing this procedure. We use high volume suctions, so we have them right next to the tooth as we're taking out the silver filling. We're making sure we get everything up, as much vapor and pieces as we can right then and there. And we try to remove these silver fillings in chunks. It doesn't take a whole lot to remove a silver filling. You can almost put a groove right down the middle of it, and the whole thing just pops out of the mouth. There's debate on, there's a lot of people who say you should only remove a few at a time. They say 2 at a time is all you want to remove. That's not my philosophy. My philosophy personally is the faster I get them all out, the faster you're mercury free. But that philosophy differs between dentists, and I don't have any Yeah, I think it's okay if they say take a few out. From my standpoint, just get them out as fast as possible. There is a vitamin C you can take by IV, or you can take a massive dose orally. IV is a little bit better, but there are studies out there showing that the vitamin C will bind to any mercury that does happen to get in your blood system when you're taking these out. And then the last question, which you asked earlier, Dr. Dave, was, when we take them out, does the mercury level increase in the body? Studies show yes, it does. When you take them out, you get an initial spike in your blood system, and then within a few days to a week, all your mercury levels have dropped off to basically nothing. So when we take them out, we do get a spike, but it drops off and is excreted from the body quickly. And so the whole philosophy there is you want to get it out as fast as you can. In a couple of days, your mercury levels will be much lower, or you're going to keep the product in there and continuously have a leaking mercury product and continuously leaking into your system. So another thing we do is we work with some physicians here in town, holistic type approaches, and they'll look at all the metal levels in the blood system, and sometimes they need chelation therapy. So they have a lot of other metal toxicities and everything else going on that will be done too to help flush them out of the system. So those are most of the standard ways that's becoming nationally recognized as how to remove a silver filling. Does everybody do it every time? No. Some people have problems with the very first thing, which is a rubber dam. They're very claustrophobic, and it's hard for them to wear it. So again, from my philosophy, the sooner we get them out, the better off we are. And I know that within a few days, your mercury levels are going to be much lower than before we started. I believe that was it. Yeah. So any questions on mercury fillings, silver fillings?
Are you kidding?
Like I said, this is usually where they start rolling in.
Oh, well, they've been rolling in a long time ago. Boy, is there no space here for these questions, for Pete's sake?
If we can't answer them all, obviously, what I would like everybody to get out of it is, from a dental standpoint, these silver fillings are damaging the teeth, breaking the teeth, and causing a lot of unnecessary dentistry. And we have products out there that, just from a dental standpoint alone, don't break teeth and won't cause these problems. From a medical standpoint, of course, it is a product that contains mercury, and it is a fact that is leaking out and is now, just in the last few days, been changed from a low-risk product to a moderate-risk product. It will not go any higher than that, just because of my idea of the class action lawsuits that would occur. And in essence, every dental school and every governing body is trying to just weed this product out. So over the years, you're going to see it slowly disappear as we have so much better products, and before the fact that it contains mercury. And we all know the concerns that we see with eating fish and where all the mercury is coming from. So the factories, the cars, and the dental industry are looked at a lot.
Well, speaking about mercury and heavy metals, before we go into all these questions, and Sherry, I'm going to need your help here because we're going to have to go back and forth. Because of what we do with the webinars, and I just want to put a plug in here, Dr. Luna, we once had a scientist come speak about the zeolites. Zeolites would be, have you heard of them, Dr. Luna?
No, I have not.
Okay. Well, they're minerals, but they're a natural way there's a company that produces them and produces a solution of them. And they are a harmless way. I mean, it doesn't involve even chelation therapy, but it seems to be even a lot more effective than chelation therapy because they harmlessly remove not just the mercury, but also other heavy metals like cadmium and lead from the body, and they actually see the spike in your urine after you take these things. So what I wanted to encourage you folks to do is that, like what Luna said, if you have mercury fillings in your teeth, you want to get to the right expert who can safely remove those fillings for you and replace them with something safer. But also, you want to also take something that is safe and it's cheap, really, from what I can see. It's a cheap way of helping take care of the system, remove the other heavy metals in the system. Of course, mercury and lead being the major ones. The difference between this type and chelation is that chelation sometimes also removes the good minerals as well. This one does not, and so it's something you can do on your own. You don't have to go to a naturopath or a holistic medicine person where you're going to have to pay a lot more money. You can do this on your own. It's a safe way to do it, and the information on it is on our website. The title is called The Science of the Detoxification, and Rick Deitch, a biochemist, did a full 2-hour talk on it, and the slides and MP3s and all the PowerPoints are available on the website. Okay, let's get into it. I tried to put this up as much as possible because there are so many questions.